On this week's episode, we talk about the NFL and MLB's overtime format, the latest NFL retirees, and the 2022 Mlb Hall of Fame class. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4, season 2, Points and Penalties. For all our listeners, we'd like to remind you to please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For our viewers on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the PMP button in the right of this video. And no matter how you check out PMP, give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. Once again, my name is Josh. With me are my co-hosts Kevin, Peter, and Jesse. Kevin, start up with you. What are you drinking today?
Well, this is honestly my first drink of the day. I'm having myself a Freak Show Crush. You know, like that kind of shit.
That's a good beer, man.
It is a 6.3% alcohol coming out of the Flying Monkeys. And let's give her a shot. I like it. That was nice.
It's good, man.
It's very good.
I like that one.
Yep. I enjoyed this. So far, so good. We'll see how the two go down. Jesse, what's your poison?
I am drinking another Omnipolus, and it's called Prodamus. It is another spicy one, boys, at 10.5%. Yeah. Stout. And chocolate chunk caramel bar stout. So it's a little rough to get down the first little bit. Tough for the morning, I have to say, but
should have had the coffee stout this week, Jess. You and I, both of us stouts.
Yeah, this one I can definitely taste the chocolate, and it's a little bit different. Again, super strong. And this week, boys, I decided to get 2. So.
Nice.
Wow.
Nothing wrong with day drinking.
How many milliliters you got in there?
So 473.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, got it right this time.
Yeah.
No one's losing a point there. Peter, what are you drinking?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you guys are bringing the heat so much since we're in the morning here, because Jesse's selfish and he thinks his Rams are going to win later on today. We're not. We wanted to watch the game, so we're doing this in the morning. So I didn't bring a very strong beer, but you guys give it to her. Anyway, I have a Kitty Vitty Day Boil Session IPA. It's 4.5%. Nice light beer for the morning. I haven't tried it yet. Yep.
He still has to be dad later on too. He's got way more responsibilities than us.
For sure.
Yeah, you fuckers. It's pretty good. It's light tasting, obviously. Not a bad beer. So Josh, round us out, would you?
Well, since it is the morning, and I just didn't feel like having beer, I decided to go with some Clamato Caesars, a little extra spicy. It's a nice one in the morning. It's a great morning drink for us Canadians. Americans, you might know it as a Bloody Mary, but the Caesar's way better because it's got the Clamato juice.
It's a Caesar.
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, it's real tasty. Everybody knows these, 5.5%. I do like making my own, but in this case, it's easier just to crack a can. It's tasty. So I guess I'm not the bitch. I thought I might have been the bitch today with just a 5.5, but
you're welcome.
I got lucky, yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm a Bengals fan for the day. For the listeners, I'm wearing a Bengals toque. Whenever we go to a new stadium, I tend to buy a toque. So this is I'm not actually a Bengals fan, just a Bengals fan for the day. Talking about football, Jess, let's get right into it, man. There's some big news in the NFL.
Right. So the big news is Big Ben retired this week after 18 seasons, and Sean Payton steps down. So Big Ben, 39, pretty old for quarterback, not as old as Tom Brady, who we all thought may have retired this week, but it's not official yet. It's all up in the air. Fake news everywhere, boys.
Fake news. I think it's real.
Yeah, so do I. But he's probably letting this guy, Big Ben, have his time in the sun. Everyone talks about him, about retiring, and someone jumped the gun there. But he is probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He got Rookie of the Year. He's 5th in all-time passing yards, and he's 5th all-time in wins. He was drafted in 2004. He was also with the Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers draft. So he outlasted those guys. So what began Roethlisberger's career was when Tommy Maddox got hurt in week 2 of the Ravens game. He then led the Steelers to a 15-1 record that season. Crazy for a rookie. And then he ended up losing to Tom Brady in the AFC Championship that year. The next year, he won his first Super Bowl, being the youngest one against the Seattle Seahawks. And then 3 years later, he also won another Super Bowl against Arizona, which I think we talked about. Was it last week or the week before?
Yep, one or the other.
Yeah, with that huge, with 35 seconds left, touchdown to Santonio Holmes in that corner. Great pass. And he's eligible to be in the Hall of Fame for the 2027 year. So, like I said, I think he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know if anyone else feels that, I want to take a hot take on that, but
No way. First ballot for sure.
Yeah, cold take. He's first ballot for sure.
yeah,
It's not cold. It's lukewarm.
He's still bitter about that.
Yeah, I there's no chance that he's not a first ballot in my opinion. He's a great football player. He's he's lasted the test of time, and I mean, given the he did have some really good teams behind him, especially in his rookie year. Like, would he have done that if he had a mediocre team? Maybe not. But
yeah, that's the thing too. In his first Super Bowl, he did not play well.
Right, but the rest of the team, especially the defense, picks up the slack. Right,
that's what Steel Town's all about.
No knock on him at all, but
no. It was the second year.
Exactly. Definitely, I've always loved this guy. So on my fantasy team for a long while. He did good for me. Appreciate it. But no, can't say enough good things about Big Ben, and he always seemed like he was a player for the fans, and not just on the field, but off the field too, which is always good, supporting your community and whatnot.
Yeah, he had a few runs with the law too, so
yeah, that's true.
So it's a good thing he cleaned up his act, but like that is going to be a spot on his record for sure.
For sure.
So Sean Payton, he retires after 16 years with the franchise. So that's 15 seasons, 16 years since he was hired. At 58, he doesn't plan to coach for another team this coming year. And he's not ruling out coaching in the future at all. He has also had interest in TV analyst job. And he's one of the better coaches ever in the league. Great offensive mind. They'll also be the 9th head coaching vacancy. There's been a couple that have been filled this week. Josh, I don't know what your take is on the guy.
I don't really have a take on the Bears.
Matt Eberflus.
I have no idea who he is. No lies.
Colts DC, but it's funny how like they went for I forget the GM for the Bears, but it's like Ryan Polks or something like that.
Yeah.
So they went for their GM and head coach from Ryan to Matt. The exact same thing in Ryan Pace and then Matt Nagy.
Yeah, for sure. I actually didn't realize that. I didn't put two.
I saw that on Twitter and I thought that needed to be said because I was
That's
like,
funny.
what the fuck? Why would they do that? That's weird.
Just make it easy. The business cards only need to be changed half the fucking name.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Sean Payton. He turned this franchise around for the Saints, and he also got Drew Brees to show that he is one of the best quarterbacks ever in this league. And I'm wondering if you guys have any idea what these guys are going to do after head coaching, step down, and retiring from quarterback position.
Do we know why Payton stepped down? Is he just No.
He said he just wanted to step
feeling it?
back. Just said he wanted
Yeah.
to step back from the game for right now, and I think he maybe wants to focus on some family stuff, whatever. But like you said, he just doesn't rule out coming back to the league. It's just he needs to take some time right now. So
Well, I got a theory here.
the
But
team sucks, and he's like, I'm out.
the team isn't horrible, but they don't have a quarterback. They are way over the cap right now. So they're top 51. They're 76 million over the cap, which the cap hasn't been said for this upcoming season, but it's supposed to be around 208 million. And they're at total active contracts to 200 or 288 million. So
Yeah, so they got a lot of fucking
Right.
money to get rid of.
So I think he's kind of just getting out of the way. He's like, I don't know how this team is going to function next year. Like, it's going to be really bad because they're going to
See ya.
Yeah,
let go a lot of people.
he's
So
basically he's quitting on them. He's like, yeah, I'm out.
like that's just my kind of hot take. And the other part of it is I think he might go to Dallas.
I heard
Maybe,
Dallas.
maybe not this year, obviously. They're going to probably let McCarthy play this one out and see how well he does. But I know Jerry likes Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is from Texas. So that's my theory. So that's why he's saying he's not going to be coaching this year. He's going to wait it out maybe next year.
I could see that.
And maybe he does get a TV NLS job just to try it out, see if he likes it. It'll always be a lot less work than head coaching job. And then he'll make his decision from there, maybe. But
Yeah, I think I don't know, like not everybody's a star at the TV thing, right? Like I don't know if you guys have seen Drew Brees. He's not the best at the analyst thing. He's even worse as a color commentator on the games. I mean, not that I could do any better, but you know, so it might not be for everyone. Although I think Sean Payton, well, you'd think Brees too would have the mind for it. If you just don't have that kind of personality, then to be in front of the camera and to, you know, do that thing, then it's not going to work out for him. And that's fine. It is what it is. Try it and then go coach the fucking Cowboys, right? Because that's what I've heard is that there's some ties there, and there may be even interest both ways. So as for Big Ben, what he's going to do, my thought process is for like 5 years, not a fucking thing. Like I think he needs 5 years just to fucking get his body back into workable human shape. Like this guy has been beat up his entire career.
I agree with you on that he needs to heal, but he has never been huge on cardio and staying in shape a whole lot. Like I know he did this year and a bit last year. He wanted to do that Tom Brady thing, and then he realized he didn't have the discipline like Tom Brady to do what he does. And he has shown up a little bit overweight before, and so it'll be interesting to see if he tries to stay in shape and everything like that. But yeah, I think you're right. He's going to have to heal up for sure, because he used to take up. I remember people like he was throwing defenders off him because like his name, Big Ben. He was a big guy, and he was as big as a lot of the defenders. So
for sure,
he took a bunch of hits.
Brady actually congratulated him with a tweet, and he said, you know, Big Ben didn't go about his longevity using the TB12 way. He said instead he decided to use the put some ice on it method.
Yeah.
And it worked for his entire career. And he said there's more than one way to bake a cake. And that's, you know, that's a good shout out to him, saying, hey, you didn't do it the same way I did to stay in the league this long, but you know, you did it. And, you know, like I said, congratulating him. So it was, I thought that was a pretty good tweet. And that was before the leaked Brady retirement tweet.
Yeah. Well, if I was him, I would go eat some chicken wings, drink some beers, count your millions, maybe go down south for a while, enjoy the sunshine, and just sort of do nothing for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back after that. Maybe he doesn't. Doesn't matter. He's made his money. He had his career. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and when you're in the public eye for so long and you're the center of that team for so long, and you've got to do press conferences every night, you might not want to be in front of the cameras again on a TV thing or what have you. You know, maybe coaching I could see him maybe getting into, but not as a high-end coach, like a high school coach, maybe.
Yeah, like a lot of like superstar players don't go into coaching because they've already made their money and they'd rather do something more cushiony, like TV analyst.
Like
but...
TV, like Payton and Eli Manning. That Manning cast is so awesome, boys.
Maybe he does something like that then. Maybe Ben goes out and does his own little podcast kind of deal in regards to what the Mannings do. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, like that's definitely something that he could do, and it'd be interesting to see what he says on there too.
Yeah,
with a couple beers in his hands.
He can always be a guest on BNP.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be.
I would not wear my Bengals team. I'd wear my Steelers tee that day. I got a terrible towel too. I'd bust that out too for him.
Yeah,
So do I.
Kev can
Oh,
ask
no, I
him
gave
what
it
the
to my
diamonds
brother.
mean.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta tweet out Big Ben. Hey, if you want to do a low key interview.
And for about Payton, I just think what you guys said. He's probably just going to go out and do the commentary kind of deal and see how he goes with in regards to that.
Yeah, I wonder, like, if somebody picks him up, like a TV station, where they would potentially put him. Like, do you throw him right in the NFL, like they did with? Well, I guess Breeze did a little bit of. I'm not sure if it was college or high school. Probably college commentating before he kind of moved up this year as a permanent thing. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he does. Maybe does it. Maybe doesn't. Maybe nobody says no. You know what? We're good. Like if you've got all kinds of people in those positions from a TV standpoint, you know, why are you bringing in a rookie that might make your ratings go down?
Right. Like they'll probably have him in a low end.
Yeah,
I would think kind of. Like you also have to think like Terry Bradshaw's getting fairly old, and Jimmy Johnson, Bill Cowher's up there too.
I think Terry Bradshaw likes being on TV.
He loves talking.
So I think he's gonna be around for a while. But I don't know. You guys hear about Troy Aikman? He was all pissy about not doing which game was it? The Cowboys game, I think it was, and then. Now he might not even return to Fox now. So
that's like their ace lineup for commentating, Joe Buck and him.
Yeah. So if he doesn't return, he's thinking about going to Amazon. Like, that's kind of weird. But so I guess next year Amazon has the rights to Thursday nighters, and so he would be the guy there. But
they must have paid a pretty penny for that. Holy moly!
It's Amazon. They just have all the money in the world.
So that was all the money in the world, right?
All right, boys. We're going to move on to MLB. Kev, you got some new extra inning rules?
Yeah, we have this extra innings that they're going to try and, I guess, to see how this runs. Because they normally do the person on second base. And both teams have an opportunity to sit there and have a chance to win the game. Now, if they go into that extra innings with the person on second and it's still tied, they're talking about having the home field managers have an option of taking an offensive or a defensive spot, which would give them the opportunity to either, like I said, play offense or defense. Now, if they do this, they're going to go into let's say it goes into 11th innings. And it's still tied. They're going to put the next batter up on first base, and they give the home field manager the option of either taking an offensive or defensive spot. So if they do end up going, say, into an offensive spot, they have a runner on first, and they have the option of the 3 outs. If they get the run in, they win the game. If the defensive shuts them down with getting the 3 outs without a score, they win the game. So I think this is something that could be interesting, and just like to see what you guys think about this new change.
I think it's dumb.
Yeah, like honestly, who's really going to take the offensive part? I mean, you have a better shot of having your defensive to sit there and get your 3 outs to win the game. Now, for me, I think if you want to make this very interesting, don't put the person on first base. Put the person on third base.
No, then it's too easy.
How? I mean, that person has a chance either stealing home. I mean, there's been I've watched so many games.
Man. It's just a quick, easy sack fly, and you win the game.
You'd be seeing a ton of safety bunts as well too, and
Well, I just don't think, putting them on first and having that option of, you get 3 outs, you win the game. I mean, it's just kind of doing like the CFL, the NFL kind of ruling where you have one shot to score a touchdown, and that's that.
I don't know what they're trying to fix with this. Like, is there really that many games that go into crazy extra innings? I feel like there's not that many.
I mean, there's a good amount over the course of the season that
I
hit
mean,
like
is it-
14, 15.
Is it a problem though? Like, what?
Only if you're playing a doubleheader the next day or an
Yeah.
early game.
Yeah, and that double header thing, I think they're sitting there talking about still doing only 7 innings for that.
Yeah.
Now the other,
Sure, I think this year will be wide open for that. I don't think they're even going to do this international rule on second next year. So
on first, you mean?
no, but
No,
the
on second.
rule.
Oh, yeah, that
rule
one. Okay, my
was
bad.
for the last 2 years because of COVID, they didn't want the games going too long because they didn't want people catching it.
right.
And obviously injuries do play into this, that the guy was on second. I personally like that rule. I like the guy on second. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I do not like this one chance winner take all offense versus defense, more or less. I'm not a fan of that.
Like, seriously, you're going to take offense? If any one of you guys right now is an home field manager, would you take the offensive part or would you take the defense?
It depends on who's up. If
Yeah,
I got the heart of my lineup coming up, I'm 100% going to take offense. But if I got the bottom guys coming up, I'm taking defense.
It all depends on
I
too,
might
who's in
be
your
with
But
Kevin
then
here.
depending on their offensive lineup too at that point, depending on who you might be facing, right? So it would depend on each game is going to be different. So on what you would do. But I think there's definitely pros and cons, obviously, to take both either offense or defense, just like there is in football. Obviously, there's way more pros to taking offense, but in football,
In football, yeah.
I mean, by you taking off defense, it's saying at that, especially if it's your heart of the lineup, and you're saying, you know what, Vladdy, Bull, and Springer can't get this run in from first, so I'm going to play defense instead.
But if it's
not
that
much confidence.
If it's in that row, Vladdy would be on first base.
No, it says the previous batter.
Is it the previous batter, or could you just do a pinch runner at that point?
It says immediately, the player on the lineup card immediately preceding the batter will start on first base. That's exactly what you've got written in here, Kev.
Yep.
So I'm just taking that from there. So if Vladdy was up, then it would be, whoever the player is before him. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably Bichette
well,
or
whatever.
something.
I'm just
Yeah,
exactly.
but it is interesting to see that, like, if it has to be that, like the person before, or if you can just do a manager pinch runner right there, right?
Well, maybe they would say you can only have X amount of pinch runners, so maybe you can only do one. Well, no, because then you're only playing the one inning. So what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
No, they probably say no pinch runners. That's what I would think.
So that also comes into play when the home team picks. If you pick defense, like
If you got a slow
big
guy,
fatty,
yeah,
big fatty on first base, then he's not going to go to 3.
Big fatty, technical term.
Yeah.
100%. So, Kev, this is in the MLB next year.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be happening next year, but this is what that I've found and looked up. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's being talked about.
yeah.
Okay,
That's it so far.
so it's not in the MLB next year.
No, it's not like when they introduced the extra innings as before, where they did it in 2020 in regards to the shortened season. They started doing that rule of the extra inning with a person on second. Now, obviously, they did this trial out in the minors, as they normally do for any kind of thing to bring up to the majors. They always try them in the league below to see how it runs.
Okay, so this is actually being tried out this season in the Frontier League, which is an MLB affiliate. I was trying to get you to fucking say that it was in the MLB. I was trying to bait
Fishing.
you.
He was
I was trying to bait you. We even talked about it pregame. That's why I jumped away from it so quickly in our pregame. Because I was trying to get you on that because it's not in the MLB this year. And it's, like I said, it's going to be in the Frontier League. But either way, that doesn't matter. I like the initial runner on second. I like the way it is now. I like it. But It just needs to keep going like every time. Just goes like that every inning, and until we get a winner. That's what I like. I don't really like this run around first thing. It's kind of cool, but I'm not a real big fan of it.
No. The cool thing about it being on second is that the games have ended quicker.
Yeah.
Compared to before, where it's just a defensive struggle and you have to get your friggin'
Your outfielder to pitch.
your outfielder to the bench, start throwing pitches up there, right? Like it's because you don't want to wreck your whole arms and stuff like that from your bullpen.
For sure. Sorry. My understanding is that moving forward, this runner on second will not be a thing in the pros. So maybe in 2022, but from what I've read, Kamish has said no dice. So it's going to go back to normal eventually. If the Kamish has his way, I guess. But
we'll see.
We will see.
Boys club there.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll change our baseballs every year, and even halfway through the season.
Yeah. And not tell anybody about it.
This week's points penalties MVP goes to Keith Yandel. Keith Yandel set a new NHL Ironman streak record on Tuesday. Yandel played his 965th consecutive game, breaking Doug Jarvis's record for the most consecutive regular season games played in NHL history. This is especially impressive given the current pandemic and that he could have missed games for being close contact, positive, whatever, for protocol. He has not. His streak started in March of 2009. If you guys remember, right round of Life Lowrider was topping the charts when that streak started.
Hell yeah.
You spin my head right. Still a banger, still on my playlist. I don't care. And we have a quote from the former record holder, Doug Jarvis. He once Yandel took over the crown, he said, "It takes a lot of character and it takes real love for the game. And I just want to commend Keith on all of those things. When I reflect back on this, I'm really excited for him. I'm really happy that this mark is going to be passed because for me, it means a player has been able to play and stay healthy through his career. And I wish that for every player. We know that a lot of life is lived after a playing career, and it's great when you can enjoy your career and be healthy through it." So kind words from Doug Jarvis after his Ironman streak was finally broken after like 30 years or something like that. He did in the 80s. And so there's another active player that's close to Yandel. Phil the Thrill, Phil Kessel. It's only slightly behind with the 943 game streak. Do you think Phil's going to pass Yandel someday? They're both currently active right now.
I'm going to say yes, but Phil's got to stay away from the fucking hot dogs.
I was going to say the same thing, man. He's got to stay away from those hot dogs.
Or maybe
he doesn't. Yeah.
Maybe that's the key.
Could be. I think he will pass him, Kessel. He's a little younger, so he's got a little bit more time. Obviously, COVID is one thing or another that can happen, whether you like it or not. So, and you might not even be sick, right? Like you said, you could just have to sit because of close contact. So hopefully that doesn't happen, but I do think Phil will carry on here and eventually pass this. I feel like Yandel's probably going to retire at the end of the year, and I feel like Phil's going to keep her going. That's just my gut feeling, and that's why I think Kessel's going to do it. And like you said, maybe the hot dogs are the reason he's doing so good. He is looking a little thicker these days than when he was a Leaf. So
yeah. Well, those were the hot dog years.
Yeah,
his Leafs time. And I don't know. I don't know if Yandel, like if he's still going and Kessel's still going with their streaks, I don't know if he would retire just to try and keep ahead of him. I don't know.
You think it's that big of a deal? Like he's already got it now,
Yeah, but it's not going to last long.
I mean,
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. If he can outlast Kessel, who knows how long that might last? Maybe not that much longer. Maybe someone else is slightly behind too, but at least you can hold on to it for a bit.
Well,
That's his-
Marlowe would be the next semi-active
he's-
player, but
he's-
he's done. Yeah.
He's not gonna pass it.
No.
The one thing I like about with this streak that was going on is when Yandel took, I'm not sure if it was a stick or a puck to the face and lost a bunch of chiclets. And he thought for sure that would have been it. But he had a inspiration from Bobby Orr saying, if you can skate, you can play. And then he ended up putting that big, huge visor on his face and stuff and played through, losing, like I said, maybe like 4 chiclets out of his face. So
They're just teeth.
Who needs them
Carry
anyway?
on. Yeah, hockey players don't. Look at Drew Doughty. That guy's had no front teeth for like ever. Some guys get them fixed. Not Doughty. Not some guys. They're just holes in their smile for years.
Put some porcelain up there. They're fine.
Yeah.
Just take it up
Exactly.
for the hockey games.
Just take him out for the games. That's right.
Yeah.
well, that's what he did when he was skating away towards the bench. He started pulling out whatever else was loose and putting them in his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, for Bobby Orr to sit there and say, man, if you can still skate, bud, you can still play. So, and then
There
like
was
I said,
also
he
there
just
was
put on that full visor and carry on.
there's a bit of drama too with Yandel. I forget if it was this year or last, where he was almost a healthy scratch at the start of the season. There was some drama happening over that his Ironman streak was going to get broken and he was healthy, going to get healthy scratched. But that didn't end up happening. So who knows? Maybe that'll happen next year, and that'll be Kessel's chance to take the lead. But anyway, that's it. So Keith Yandel for becoming the NHL's new Iron Man, breaking a record after over 30 years. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Bud.
Now, why don't we roll into some MLB Hall of Famer?
Are you ready for some baseball? All right, guys.
All right.
No, it's not right. So the class of 2022, the Hall of Fame for the Bigs, the Major League Baseball. David Ortiz was the only electee this year from the most recent generation. Obviously, they have the generational inductees, but these are the big guys. He was the only guy to receive more than 75% of the vote, and he had just under 78%. First ballot Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion, 17th in all-time in home runs, and 23rd all-time in RBIs. In my opinion, there is no question that he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just a great player on and off the field. And clutch player. Do you guys, or did you guys have any doubt that Papi would be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Not one bit.
The only bit of doubt for me was that he did have the one PED test that was positive.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But like his statistics are wild. But yeah, I think 2003 or something like that is when he might have had that, and that was the big thing that could deter it. But maybe now that this has happened, we'll see some other Hall of Famers get in. But he said he didn't know that he was any idea he was taking steroids. But I mean,
Of course he said that.
All of them claim that, right?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah. And whether you know or not, it happened. So it affected, in theory, it affected your numbers.
I mean, you're in charge of your body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as it, as much as we don't like Red Sox, this is one guy.
Ooh.
This is one guy you gotta like, and maybe not then when he was playing and when he was beating up on the Jays, but like I said, definitely deserving of this first ballot nod into the Hall. A couple guys that have not gotten a nod to the Hall, actually gotten a no nod 10 times. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Kurt Schilling, Sammy Sosa. All these guys were left off the ballot this year, and they will only be able to get into the Hall via the generational committees. I mean, how do you guys feel about some of these guys and where they place in the all-time statistics not being in the Hall? Barry Bonds, first overall, most home runs ever. Sammy Sosa's 9th.
Yeah. In my opinion, they should all be in there. I don't think that, like, if Ortiz can get in, and maybe he wasn't as frequent PED user as the other guys, if that's the right way to put that. But
Who's better at not getting caught?
sure, well, who knows? I don't think this should keep these guys out of the Hall. Like you said, Josh, number 1 all time in home runs.
Yeah.
How are you not a Hall of Famer?
And number 6 in RBI. Like those two
Yeah.
numbers coincide with each other. So that's huge.
Like this is what the Hall of Fame is. It's the best players that have ever played, and then you have a good group of them here that aren't in there.
Well, there's one person I think if you're going to allow these people in, then you
Yeah,
got to
way
put
to go.
Pete Rose. Rose has to be put in there, man. If you want to talk about stats, look this guy up. This guy's unbelievable for what he did for baseball. So, I mean, if you're willing to put Bonds and maybe the Caucasian Sosa into the Hall of Fame, then I don't think why Pete Rose shouldn't be there.
Okay, but do you think these guys should be in, specifically these 4 guys? We can get to Pete Rose in a minute, but
Do you think the cheaters should make it in?
Yeah.
If you are going to put cheaters in there, then put an asterisk around them.
Okay, so you're saying that are you saying they should be in? Would you put them in? That's what
I
wanna know.
would put him in. I would put the bat that's Caucasian Sosa had that cork in it.
But you would have them in, but you'd put them with an asterisk saying that they use PEDs.
Sure.
Like Barry Bonds didn't use PEDs in his entire career, and he had a pretty good career all around. Like obviously the home runs and subsequently the RBIs came from a lot of his juicing, but would he have been a Hall of Famer if without all that? Maybe not.
Probably.
He probably would. He wouldn't have the record for home runs, I don't
No.
But at the same time, like I think MLB knew about this. I think teams knew about this. So like they're have to blame on this. Like right now it looks like the players are taking all the brunt here, but they do tell people like if you don't continue playing better, you're gonna lose your job out to other people, right? That are willing to do these things where they're cheating pretty much, right? So I think I know it's writers that get these guys in, and they're not really part of the MLB, but like this, I think they need to allow these guys to just get in. I don't really care about the asterisks, to tell you the truth. I think in time people will forget about it. Everyone will remember that Bonds, Clemens, and Sosa were cheating, but I think you let them in. The MLB didn't punish them, so you're stopping them from reaching the MLB Hall of Fame because the MLB didn't stop them.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely think that these guys should be in. I think I might have flip-flopped last year. I might have said that they don't deserve to be in. I can't remember, but after you think about it and you're really the totality of some of these players, they really should be in there with or without an asterisk, whatever. I'm kind of with Jesse. If Barry Bonds was never suspended for PEDs, so like if the league at that time didn't think it was wrong and didn't punish these guys, then to me the league is turning a blind eye and it's okay. So and more than just these 4 guys were using PEDs, they just weren't as awesome as these guys.
Absolutely.
So I mean, obviously you could throw Mark McGwire in there as well. He'd been pretty fucking awesome too from a hitting standpoint. So I think they should be in there. It's unfortunate that they're not. It was part of baseball. It was absolutely part of baseball at the time.
Well, like think of that Sosa and McGwire run. Like that was huge for baseball when they were going for the home runs, right? Like it got tons of attention, and yeah, they were cheating, but you didn't stop them. You didn't want to ruin your coverage, right? So,
and like you said, that was a huge race, Jess. Like
that was like at the top pinnacle of baseball, I thought.
Right. So I've got those. Actually, I have the stats here. So it was in 98, 99. Sosa had 66 and McGwire had 70 that year. And the next year, Sosa had 63 and McGwire had 65. Like that's fucking insane.
Oof, it's a bad beat.
Yeah, like 2 years later, Sosa had 64 and Bonds had 73. Like that's a ton of home runs to watch, and everybody loves seeing home runs. Subsequently, that was Sosa's. He's the only player in and MLB history, to hit 60 home runs in 3 different seasons and not lead the league in home runs that year, which is insane.
The Dominican Sosa. at that point, right?
Well, he's always going to be Dominican, Kev.
Okay, my
he's
bad.
black or white. So.
Right. Okay.
But yes, the Dominican Sosa. So, like, we're just talking really about the batters here, but
yeah,
Roger Clemens is another guy that, like, no question in my mind, that guy needs to be in there. Like,
yeah, well,
2 triple crowns for a pitcher. That's pretty crazy. Not too many guys do that. I mean, not too many guys get a triple crown, period, offensively or defensively. So either way, 7-time Cy Young winner. Damn. You should be in the fucking hall. So. All right. So since they have not let these guys in to the hall because of their PED use, there's one other major guy that was on the ballot for the first time this year. We call him affectionately A-Royd. Alex Rodriguez. He got 34.3% of the vote in 2022, so just this past week or so, and was obviously you need that 75%. Will he be voted in?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. If it's the same group that's doing the voting, he's gonna fit right into the same group that we just talked about.
So I guess every year there's 5 new ones, and I think some of the 5 older ones kind of leave. Maybe it's not every year, but there are new writers every year in on this. And from what I've read, it seems like the younger writers are more inclined to allow these PED users into the
they're less baseball Puritans.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know what you're saying, you've set the precedent here. So why does he get in?
Yeah. I think in the long run they all get in, but it's I always forget what the second class is called.
It's like they're broken up into different generations, so I just call them the generational committees.
Yeah, whatever. So I think they'll probably all get in as part of that group, or maybe A-Rod will get in through his 5 years, and then the other guys will get in. Maybe he'll be a trailblazer for him. I don't know. But I think they all deserve to be in there, and they will probably all get in there at some point.
So I hate to be that broken record, but before anybody that gets into this thing, Pete Rose has got to go first.
Should Pete Rose get in there, Kev?
Yes, by far. I mean, before you allow Sosa, Bonds, Clemens, anybody,
Barry Bonds,
before any of them, before any of these guys get into the Hall of Fame, you got to put Pete Rose in there first.
Like, it's a two totally different issues though, right? Like Pete was great, but he was betting on games, and that's a totally different punishment and a totally different thing than cheating with PEDs. Like, he wasn't really cheating, but he was maybe throwing games.
He was putting people in there to throw games. I mean, he was playing playing the lineup that would lose.
If it was the coaching, yeah, I get it, but as a player, he's an all-time hit leader. He wasn't fucking shaving points off there.
No, I mean, for a guy to sit there in an all-star game to take out the fucking back catcher on a play at home, I mean, that's pure heart for the baseball. I mean, that's all this guy ever had was heart for baseball. It's just unfortunately the dumb fuck sit there and bet on his own team to lose.
Yeah, I think he should get in. I'm with you, Kev. As a player, maybe not as a coach, but as a player, I think he should get in. He, like I said, if you're going to get Bonds in there, like which we think we eventually will, for as the all-time home run leader, you got to have the all-time hits leader in there. But that's me. Yeah. As for Rodriguez, I think he will get in one of his last years of eligibility. He's at 34.3%, so that's pretty high out of the gate. I think that'll continue to go up. And as Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Kurt Schilling, Sammy Sosa fall out of that, I just think he's going to get there. It might not be this year. Like I said, it might be his last year of eligibility. But I think, like you said, people are starting to realize, this is how baseball was way back when. So this is, you can argue that, obviously the steroids enhanced their abilities, but they were good to start off with.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's tough to take that away because they were doing what everyone else was doing, and because they're so polarizing, people dug into them more.
Yeah.
especially like A-Rod, like you said, like he was drafted out of fucking high school. Like it's fucking good, like so he was going to be good regardless, and he just got little home run happy and decided he needed juice. All right, Pete, I know you got a real good topic here you want to talk about. I think we're all going to get in on this one. Bills and the Chiefs, start us up.
The Bills and Chiefs. So I'm going to start by laying out some of the facts about this playoff game that happened last weekend. It set an NFL postseason record with 25 points scored in the final 2 minutes, which absolutely shattered the previous record of 17.
Bang.
There were 3 lead changes in the final 2 minutes and a tie, including Buffalo taking the lead with 14 seconds left. And after that, what's the coach's name? I know. What's the coach's name? I'm blanking on the coach's name.
Which one?
Yeah,
Fucking Casey's coach.
Andy Reid, the
Andy
Walrus.
Yeah, the Walrus. Yeah.
Andy Reid said to Patty Mahomes, he said, when things are grim, be the Grim Reaper. Then he came out, tied the game with 14 seconds left.
Woo!
Bang.
It's arguable that no quarterback ever played better in a playoff loss than Josh Allen on Sunday. Tom Brady is 505 yards in his loss against the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Is probably the main contender against that. But Allen had 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, led the Bills with 68 rushing yards in a loss. And Gabriel Davis broke the playoff TD record with 4 touchdowns on 8 receptions and 201 yards.
PMP MVP runner-up.
Yeah, so question I have for you boys. Was this the greatest football game of all time? Or can you think of a better one?
I think it was pretty decent for what we were watching after the pod last week. I mean, you guys were on a bit of a delay, and Josh and I were kind of giving away what was happening. But man, that was like a fucking shootout. Like it was, wow.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was over after the 14-second left score. 100% thought it was done, but it was not.
I thought it was done too, but like you said, it wasn't. But I don't know if it's the greatest football game of all time. It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there as one of the better playoff football games. But there are some really, really big games. Jesse mentioned one earlier, and we talked about it the other week there with the Steelers and the Cardinals. That's a massive game, big ending. There was the one NFC Championship game I was talking about, which again was the Cardinals and Green Bay Packers. Those are some pretty intense games. I know Kevin's favorite game is fucking the Patriots and the Falcons game. But is it the greatest? It's probably the greatest of the last 5 years, we'll say. It was a fucking great playoff game, except for the end. Like overtime.
I don't think this is the greatest. Like as good as it was, it's still a divisional game. It's not a championship or Super Bowl. Like this, you could honestly argue like this should have been the AFC Championship game, or like if you could do it Super Bowl, but that's obviously not the case because you got the AFC and NFC. But yeah, like you said, that Eagles Patriots game, I think that's one of the better ones. Like if you don't like give a crap about defense, it was awesome. The Patriots Atlanta game, that is huge, big spot. I'm also gonna say the Patriots against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship when the Patriots went to the 2018 Super Bowl against the Rams, because they came back being down, and like that sucks. It's the exact same thing that would happen here in this loss was a coin flip decided it, but it was a hell of a game and a hell of a job by Mahomes coming back in that game, and Brady just doing his thing and just running out just doing his business. He completed a bunch of third down conversions in overtime to win that game. Like for everything that happened in this one, like it was quick lightning. It was really, really fast. It wasn't like methodical, like Brady winning in the overtime. But I think for the greatest of all time, I don't agree with the playoff game, but that's just my opinion. There's lots of games out there.
Yeah. And so the one blemish on this game for sure was the way it ended in overtime. Because Allen gave the Bills the lead with 14 seconds left in the game, which after playing a great game, no turnovers, just fantastic. And he wouldn't touch the ball again, and they lost.
That's bullshit.
And that's because of the coin flip, and the Chiefs won the coin flip, elected to take the ball like you would, and they won the game on the first drive against the Bills' #1 defense, by the way. So in the overall regular season and playoffs, since the current playoff or the overtime format has been around, the coin flip winner only wins about 53% of the time. So it's pretty fair. But that's regular season and playoffs. When you get into the playoffs, and you talk about playoffs alone, there have been 11 playoff games, overtime playoff games with the current rules, and 10 of them have been won by the team that wins the coin flip. So it's extremely skewed to winning that coin flip basically wins you the game.
FYI, does anyone know who that #1?
The one loss?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yep.
I'm not a challenge, but not a challenge. just see if you guys...
just some trivia.
It's your favorite game, Jess.
It is my favorite
Your
game.
favorite game of all time, man. Fucking
Yeah.
his Rammers and the Saints. There was it.
Yeah.
18? Is that what it was in 2018?
Oh, the
Well,
one they
it's a
should have
2018 season, but it happened in 2019. You know,
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
That's what it is, and yeah. So that
the-
infamous
that the blown pass interference game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, it should have been a perfect 11 of 11.
Yeah.
But
Well, it wouldn't have gone to overtime.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway. So my thoughts on the disparity here, because 53% of the time overall, the coin flip winner wins. 10 of 11 times in the playoffs, the coin flip winner wins. I think it's because teams are more aggressive in the playoffs, and also the teams in the playoffs are just better. So you can have overtime games in the regular season between shitty teams, and their offenses are not great, so the defense can help. In the playoffs, you're good teams, you're good offenses usually, and usually when you win the coin flip, and you can go score a touchdown, especially when the pressure's on. So question to you boys, do you think that these overtime rules are fair, and what would you do to change them if you don't?
Give the guy the opportunity to fucking go back and score a touchdown. I mean, that's my thing. I mean, you can't just sit there. You had to give Allen the ball back in his hand to sit there and at least try to get another touchdown to put this even into a deeper overtime, I'd say. I mean, I think it's just unfair to have it done within the way it happened.
So would you just have it go on essentially forever until somebody doesn't score to match?
Well, I mean, one, can he get down there and tie the game with that touchdown? I mean, you're going to have 4th downs and 13s again. You're going to have, they're definitely got to go on 4th down. So it's going to make it interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, it's bullshit that how it ended. I think Allen should have at least the opportunity to go down and tie the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think that maybe they make a specific rule for the playoffs where
It's definitely got to be only for the playoffs. They won't change in regular
yeah,
season.
because I can see where it could be a problem in the regular season where you can have teams matching scoring each other, and you get a game that's way too long and people start getting hurt.
Mhm.
But yeah, in the playoffs where it's winner take all, maybe there's no reason to make it sort of sudden death if you score. Let the other team have a chance to match.
Yeah, in hockey, I mean, you don't go to a shootout. You're going to play 20 minutes until someone wins the game.
Well,
So-
in hockey, if you score, it's over.
Right.
There's multiple possessions there.
Right. But again, in the regular season, they all go into a shootout if it's a tie. But in the playoffs, it's you're going to go until someone scores.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
But
right.
people score.
Yeah, I think the point he's making is that it is different set of rules in the playoffs. They change it so that in the regular season you don't have games that are too long. In the playoffs, it can go fucking all night if it has to until there's an actual winner. Which it probably, I agree, it probably should be the same in the NFL. That's like if you score a touchdown, give the other team a chance to match. If they don't, it's over.
Yeah, at least
If-
that.
yeah.
I think it would be cool to see them go to the NCAA rules where they basically it's red zone offense.
Yeah,
and they set you up, and I like that. Just I mean, now in this particular game, we probably would have been all night. It would have been like a 75,
yeah.
a 68 game.
but wouldn't that be a game to watch though? Wouldn't that be exciting to sit there and see?
Well, sure, but at that point, it's like you're changing the whole dynamic of the game. Like there was one NCAA game, LSU, somebody that the game went to overtime 31-31, and it ended up like 74-72 or some shit.
Right, and then that
Because they
skews
just-
the numbers on,
Well,
on
exactly, yeah,
touchdowns
yeah.
and rushing touchdowns. and
Yeah,
stuff
things
like
don't
that.
mean anything anymore.
Yes.
I like the NCAA rule, but I've kind of gone away from that because I thought it was good because I hate this only one possession if someone scores. But I think what they should do is do a full quarter, and then see like kind of like soccer, right?
Yeah.
You get two halves, but like in this one, you just do one quarter, and by the end of that one, if it's overtime, I guess you could say it's like the NBA, right? So who's ever winning at the end of the NBA, then or the overtime, then that's the winner. If it's still tied, you go to the next one, the next quarter.
So you want to play until it's like decided like it normally would be.
Yeah.
Wow. Because like I mean, what if it ends up going for another 4 quarters and you play 2 games?
You-
How is
you-
that gonna help the team for the next week?
What's the difference? The same thing with the overtime going back and forth. Like the only reason with the possessions that bother me is because the second team gets the better chance because they know what they have to do, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's what that's where it's kind of an unfair advantage. Like everyone, if they win the coin flip, if it's doing that possessions, they're just going to be like, oh, we'll definitely take the second possession.
Yeah, but that's still a lot more fair than it is now.
Mhm.
Like it's a lot less of an advantage to just know if you have to get 3 or 7 or nothing than to not have a chance to match it all. And
Right,
just-
but it'd be pretty difficult to continue to be tied at the end of 2 quarters, I would think.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's like a fucking defensive showdown, then go on forever.
But the thing usually is the defense usually gets tired and then the
Yeah.
offense just runs wild, right?
Yeah,
So it's just another suggestion. Like I don't like this coin flip decides because everyone has a good offense in the postseason. Pretty much,
Yeah.
like you're not going to be there without a good offense, pretty much.
right.
So, and like you said, this was the number 1 fucking defense, and they couldn't stop Mahomes.
Yeah.
Now he's an unreal player and a different kind, but
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't matter.
There also
I'm-
wasn't a whole lot of fucking defense in this entire game. Like there was at the beginning, and then it all kind of just disappeared, and it was
once I
touchdown after
that's it.
touchdown. Yeah. So, yeah, you can be the best defense, but when it comes down to that, like you got to face Mahomes in a desperation time. I don't care if you're the first best defense in the league. He's probably going to fucking score.
Yeah.
know?
No, I do think the Bills defense played too soft on him near the end of that game, and they probably could have changed the fate of this game if they had played a little more aggressive on defense. But that's just my thoughts.
But there's also, you could argue that they should have squib kicked it with that 14
Yep.
seconds left
100%.
because the time doesn't start running until the guy catches it, right? So
Yeah.
so he kicked
For
it out of the
sure.
end zone, so you had 14
Or
seconds.
at least kick it in bounds. So it's a squib is probably the
Well,
right
you
play.
just call a fair catch, and then the time doesn't go, right? So it has to be a squib kick to run the clock.
Yeah.
So
The thing is too is the defense was really, really bad there, but they also in that game, what's his name, Hill ran back a huge punt too, and I think he was back there for the kickoff, and then that's why they said just kick it through the back of the end zone. So
they should have flagged Hill too on that. He should have never scored because
Why?
because there was a taunting. He threw up his peace sign again on the way into the end zone. It was completely missed. I've seen multiple
He got fined
replays
for
of
it.
it.
He ended
Did
up
he?
getting fined for it.
But
yep.
see, that's not good enough. If you're calling taunting and you've called it before, I mean, obviously it was missed, so it is what it is. But so there's another thing that could have swung the game in Buffalo's favor.
That's a dumb rule anyway. That should not swing a game, doing this while you're scoring.
Still, you still shouldn't do that. You should, if it's once you score, fine.
Yeah, usually taunting, like it's weird to see taunting during the play actually going on, because usually it's after the play and then that's when it affects it, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, yeah, it should affect it, like where he has to kick a field goal for 15 yards back, right? On that extra
The extra point. Yeah.
extra point.
Yeah, if it was a taunting call mid
not-
play, would the touchdown count? And
I
it
don't
would
know.
just be
It would be from the spot foul and then 15 yards back, maybe. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
That like, if that is the rule, that's definitely the wrong rule. Because you should not take away a touchdown that's clearly going to be scored a touchdown because the guy threw up a piece.
The funny thing was he was like 2 yards ahead of him too when he gave him the piece.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, he was past him already.
Yeah.
Burned
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
See ya.
so I think I'm with Kev here. I would just give the other offense a chance to match and then carry on until you have a winner. Just regular rules. But if the team scores, you got to match that score.
If you don't, then game over.
Yep. Okay. So that's enough for our Bills Chiefs game. And we're going to roll into the penalty box, where we are a different sport and a game that is definitely not going to draw the kind of crowd that the Bills Chiefs did.
There's probably more people in the tailgating, like during the game, football game, than there would be in our penalty box.
Yeah. So we are talking about the Arizona Coyotes of the National Hockey League, the NHL. Working on a multi-year deal to play next season at Arizona State University's yet to be completed 5,000 seat arena.
What?
What?
5,000. That's outrageous. And this could be their temporary home for the next 3 to 4 years as they build their not even approved yet permanent arena.
Is the arena going to be the permanent one, 10,000 seats?
I have no idea.
No.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
But anyway, it's an absolutely ridiculous number. The 5,000 seat capacity would be by far the lowest in the NHL, which currently that record is held by the Winnipeg Jets at Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, an official capacity of 15,294. So over 3 times what they're talking about. The Kitchener Rangers of the OHL teenagers, they play in the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium,
Yeah, they do.
and they have a capacity of 7,131 for the OHL.
And not the AHL.
Not the minors, the OHL juniors. So Brad Marchand had a hilarious tweet. He said, well, the only way they get 5,000 fans at their games now is if they give 4,500 away for free. So it wouldn't change much anyway.
I mean, is he wrong?
No,
He's probably not wrong. No.
not at all.
This is crazy, man. I can't believe that they could even fathom going to a 5,000 seat arena. Like, I get if you're not a great team and you don't fill up, 20,000, or you can't, like, you're not going to see Arizona at an outdoor game because they're not going to help fill the 80,000 fucking seats at the big house, right? But like, that's just crazy, man. Like, you're oh yeah, we could do 5,000. Like, I mean, at least it'd be sold out. Well, you would think.
Will it?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be when certain teams were there, right? Like, usually, like, the Leafs travel well. I would think the Canadians travel well.
Yeah.
There's going to be like the Rangers, teams like that will travel well, so they'll probably fill up and sell out then. But
I would say USA's high school football teams. I mean, high school would produce more than 5,000 fans.
a lot of schools would,
Probably,
for sure.
yeah.
Not everyone, but a lot of schools,
especially the
100%.
ones in Texas for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
Texas or some of the other.
There's
like,
high school championship games at NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
So-
And they sell out or close to selling out.
This is ridiculous. This is absolutely crazy. Like,
It
and they
is
still
wild.
don't want to move this to Canada where they'll
They-
actually make money.
Yeah.
Do not even. It doesn't even have to be Canada. There's lots of other U.S. markets that are there. Like they could go to Houston. Houston could probably support a team a lot better than Arizona could,
Yeah, you're probably right.
but they don't. They're
The only way we're going to get another Canadian team here is when Bettman fucking retires.
Well, this is like a sly against him, isn't it?
It
like,
is from a
he's-
Canadian standpoint. From us
Well,
Canadians, we
okay,
think fucking
I'm talking
horseshit.
about ownership though. The ownerships are like, you're not making the full amount of money that we can be making right now by allowing this to continue.
I can't believe the NHL is even thinking about letting this happen. You would think that the NHL would say, no, there has to be a minimum of like, there's got to be a minimum.
I think there is. Yeah, I think they're willing to waive that just because it's temporary and because it's Arizona.
I mean, why can't the NHL step in and talk to the city of Glendale and be like, look, we'll fucking front the money, or we'll be their co-signer for the next 3 years until they get their other building done. Let them play here.
Let them stay. Yeah.
It's kind of goofy that the city of Glendale is not trying to help out at all. I realize that they got screwed out of some tax money for a while because Arizona's dumb and they don't realize they got to pay taxes. But,
What? We got to pay bills? What?
but you would think you would want to keep any professional sports team in your city. You got to think it moves your economy just a little bit. I mean, in Arizona's case, maybe
I
it's at a
don't think
snail's
it's
pace,
much. I
but-
don't think it's much, man. Like other sports are way more prominent than hockey in Arizona.
Well, for sure. But I don't know. I still think the NHL should be working with the city and the team to try and come up with an amicable deal for 3 years, 2-3 years until the new building is built in Tempe. So, but
Yeah,
what do
I mean,
know?
maybe it'll be fun to have an NHL team playing in a small barn with 5,000 fans.
It may sound louder.
It might sound louder. It might have a nice little. I don't know. It'll be strange.
Okay, so does this now, if let's say they do this 5,000 seat thing, they play there for the next few years, does this ease your mind about Matthews going there? Because I guarantee you he's not
Yes.
going for 5,000 fans. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna stay right here in the blue and white.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, for sure.
How is 5,000 fans going to pay your salary?
That's the other
Exactly.
thing, like, that's
The
the other
$14 million a year he's gonna want or whatever.
What are these tickets going to cost then at this point? $1,000 ticket?
It's
They're
gonna
gonna
have
be
to
giving them away. Yeah.
Yeah, 4,500 of them.
But probably those other 500 are ones that are given to the team. Here, give these to your family.
Just so we can sell out.
Oh fuck. The old
Yeah.
Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, Arizona Coyotes, figure it out or go somewhere else where you can have.
Who the fuck
Just-
gave the A-OK for Arizona to get a football team, a fucking hockey team? Like originally, like that is dumb.
Bettman,
I'm pretty sure it was Bettman. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's a fucking idiot. He should go back to the NBA.
It's just good.
Was he ever with the NBA, Cat? I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. We're not going back there.
Yeah, no, he was. Josh challenged me on that one in season 1.
Yeah.
I know,
And
I
lost.
remember. I remember.
You know what though,
I li-
Kev?
I
We
like
all
how
fucking
Kev likes-
lost today.
Didn't we ever?
Yeah, because we are rolling into the points and penalty scores, and not a single one of us was gutsy enough to have a challenge.
I tried, man.
Wah,
I tried.
wah.
You
were
tried
just
fishing for a while.
I tried
Yeah.
fishing for one, yeah.
I didn't like that lure, Yosh.
Well, evidently.
You want the rainbow lure, not the
Not the worm.
not the worm. Anyway, so we are all a -1 for today
Fucking
because we
bullshit.
all suck at our jobs, which is the challenge, motherfuckers. So that
You know
brings
what the
our
problem is because we're fucking sober. Like I'm only 3 drinks into this fucking day.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I blame.
You know what?
Jesse.
No,
He should get an extra
Jesse gets the minus. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah, he gets
Hey,
the
you
minus.
guys accepted it.
You know
I
what,
said-
next time.
I say it's the bitch beer. The bitch beer gets the minus.
Ooh, I like that one.
Wow.
I mean, that would ensure everybody rolls up with fucking 9 and 10 percenters, right?
Yep.
just in case there's no challenges. Well, at least I didn't lose.
Yeah, it would be hateful to have an 8% and fucking be the bitch of the week.
That's what happened to me last week. Oh no, I wasn't the bitch.
Nah,
last
you
week.
weren't the bitch. You
No,
just
but
didn't win.
yeah.
6.4 was the bitch.
Fuck. Damn.
Yeah. No, I think that's something we should look into.
Fuck,
Bitch of the week.
5 points out.
Look at you, whatever, bud. Whatever.
Well, so that brings our season totals. Peter drops down to +2. Jesse drops down to +2. Josh drops down to -3, and Cab drops down to -4.
Yeah.
The old trends are repeating.
Sounds like season 1.
No washer toss on Civic this time, boys.
Oh, we'll play. We won't weight it as heavy. It's just
Yeah.
if you win, you get your 2 points, not fucking 30.
Yeah. Yeah. The wives are no good on this one. The wives are not playing this one.
I don't know, man. My wife did pretty fucking good. She
I
carried
know,
my
he's-
team.
She was your team.
Oh, fuck. All right, guys, just got a couple more things to do here. I got to know how your drinks were. So, change it up here. Let's go, Jesse.
My drink from Paulo, the Pro Damas. It is spicy, 10.5, takes the cake. And yeah, it wasn't the best for this morning. It has been tough slugging. I thought I needed to eat some breakfast before we got on because I was grabbing that 10.5. And this is a meal in its own, trying to finish this off.
Are you on the first one or did you get to the second one?
Oh, I'm on the second one.
All right.
I'm halfway through.
That boy.
But it is, I'm not a fan of chocolate beers. So I think going forward, I will not be grabbing another chocolate beer.
You weren't even reading them, just aiming for percentages.
Yeah.
That's yeah. 10.5. I'm taking that one.
I
Who
grab
cares
a couple
what-
that I like usually, and then
Yeah.
I look for some high
Yeah.
ones. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Who cares what it tastes like? It's 10%.
Yeah, exactly. Can't get that -1.
It's not even a thing yet.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
There'll be a long discussion afterwards. Kev, how was yours?
Well, my Freak Show Crush Hazy IPA was at a whopping 6.3. I like it, man. I mean, not just like the beer, but I like it.
Do you like it enough, Kev, that you would drink it off the podcast? That's the real ticker here.
Nah, I think I'm going to stick to the IPAs only on podcast days, boys.
But
I
at least
don't-
this one gets your nod of approval.
Oh yeah, man. Check that out. Yeah, man. I like it. Like it a lot.
That was funny what you sent. 27 beers or whatever it was, and 26 of them were water.
Hey man, I didn't post that one. I mean that was my hockey night in Canada. I mean, I had a friend over and we polished off some water beers, as people may say.
Mhm.
But I mean, 27 of them was a pretty good damper on that day.
I mean, you must have felt bloated after all that water.
I was pissing like a racehorse, bud.
Slim Clear 2.0 is what this guy was drinking last night.
Yeah.
27 of them. That's a lot of beer, but
It is a lot of beer.
4%.
Yeah.
Might as well just be drinking water.
Why
But
not?
he only drank like 4 calories that whole night.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. I mean, it was going down like water after the first 12. Let me tell you that.
So
So-
you keep your boyish figure, eh?
That's right, man.
4-calorie beer.
Speaking of water beers, Pedro, how was yours?
Oh, bitch
Ooh.
beer.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, thanks for that, Kev. But my Kitty Vitty Day Boil Session IPA. Kitty Vitty, for those who don't know, spelled like that. If you can see
Oh,
it on
yeah.
YouTube.
Thanks. I'm going to need that for the post later.
Kitty Vitty. Yeah, 4.5%. It's a session IPA. It's pretty good. It's a light tasting, obviously. But yeah, I might have one again. I've got a whole Kitty Vitty taster pack, so I'll be rocking Kitty Vitty for the next several weeks.
Bitch.
I mean, like,
They're not all the same.
I was gonna say, like, they better be a little more potent.
Not gonna lie, I went for the lightest one of the month today because it's fucking the morning. Jesse, thanks.
Thanks, bud.
But anyway, yeah, pretty good. So, Yosh, how was your Caesar?
Well, I'm rounding out with some vodka. The old Mott's Clamato, extra spicy Caesar. Everybody knows these bad boys. 5.5 tastes great. Great for a morning drink. So, Jess, I got no problem with doing it in the morning and drinking some Caesars. Thanks for that. So I probably wouldn't do it at night. I enjoyed it. It's good. It's good. I'm not the bitch today, but I'm not the winner either. So, all right, guys, that's our drinks. Not a whole lot left to do here. I do want to give you guys each a little bit of time here. Kev, tell me who's going to win today.
Which game?
Both of them, you goof. There's only two.
Well, I know. I say KC wins. And I don't know, man. It's
How is that NFL playoffs? Is that wrapped up now with me winning? Or you guys playing
we
for
gotta-
second, third?
Yeah, I think you've got her.
I forgot about that too. We'll update you next week.
I think you've got it wrapped up, Jess. And I think Kev may, if KC keeps winning, he has an opportunity to finish second. I think. But yeah,
no.
we'll update you next week.
Yeah, no, I definitely have KC. San Fran.
Oh, Pete.
I'm with you, Kev.
Hater.
KC and San Fran. Just because
Haters.
I hope Jesse's team loses.
Haters.
And I think
Well,
KC's going to win.
San Fran is taking you guys out 6 times, so
Yep.
Yeah, I got
6
San
times in a row, I
Fran,
think.
San Fran and the Bengals.
Ooh,
And,
go the Bungles.
The Bengals. And all right, so for everyone here at Points Penalties, fuck Jesse. No, sorry, Jess. So obviously you're picking the Rams. Who else you got?
I mean, I'd prefer to face the striped kittens in the Super Bowl, but I think seeing Patty Mahomes there, we might see another huge 250 burgers. That'd be fucking wicked to see in the Super Bowl. Because the last time that happened was when the Rams played the Chiefs.
huh.
We'll
So you're thinking a rematch then? The rematch for the Super Bowl, Jess? You're taking Rams and the Chiefs today?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rematch of San Fran and
No,
KC.
no.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm thinking KC is probably going to get it, but I want to see the striped kittens win for sure.
All right.
Go Bengals.
Yeah.
Garrett, careful what you say, Jesse. Joe
Yeah,
Burrow
buddy.
will light you up.
Yeah. Joe Cool.
Smoking Joe, yeah. It'd be pretty interesting too because the coach is a McVay hire as well too. So that's quite the coaching tree he started already too, boys.
Yeah, nobody cares about that but you.
Yeah.
If you guys were more into football, you'd understand. Look at the Belichick tree, garbage.
Yeah, but he's a great coach.
One of the best.
So is McVay.
See, this is why I didn't want to give Jesse an opportunity to talk. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. So for everyone here at Points Penalties, we'd like to thank you for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. If it's on YouTube, it's right down here. Yeah, it is. Give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. And until next week, boys,
Stay out of the penalty box.